What's good, people? The Ruckus back at you again. We have got another action figure review. Once again, courtesy of Hasbro. This time, though, the first of a new series, the Adventure series, talking about Indiana Jones. And what we have here is the Build an Artifact Wave. And this is Indiana Jones from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Makes sense. This is the first figure. It needs to come from the first film. So we're going to see what's what. I was going to make a video reviewing Dr. Aphra. A quick video since at least on this channel, not many people are feeling the Star Wars stuff, but I still figured I'd do one of Dr. Aphra since I do carry her in my store. So I'm going to do videos of product that I know that I carry at the very least. Think of it sort of as an advertisement. And this showed up on my doorstep today, and I figured let me go with this. This is the first figure in a new series, in the first wave, and it's of Indiana Jones. And we're going to see what's the what. See if the actual figure matches what we originally saw from the promo images and the promo figures that Hasbro showed us when they had their live stream, and see if it measures up. Anyway, looking at our packaging, you see right there Indiana Jones Adventure Series. You've got Indy right there, a digital rendering of the actual figure. He's brandishing his whip. You see it's the Build-A-Figure or Build an Artifact, which would be the Build-A-Figure right there. And you see some art behind the figure. You got Indiana Jones, in parentheses, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Of course, you got the standard plastic-free packaging and the warning and all of that. There's nothing on the top, on the side. Some more nice artwork right there. All the way down on the flip, you have Build an Artifact. You're going to build that arc when you're completed with this wave. You see the 5 figures required to build the wave. I know about Arnold Tot there and Sala and Karen, I believe her name is. I can't think of my man here right there, but we'll get that one day. So turn it to the back. We've got that rendering of the figure of Indiana Jones, and then off to our left we see the sketch of the figure with the accessories that he comes with, including the pieces that come with Indiana Jones to build the ark. And we've got a graph showing how the height of the figure. So that helps me out since I'm always negligent when it comes to taking measurements. So we now know off rip that Indiana Jones is 6.3 inches or 15.9 centimeters. So I can freely forget to do it now. So anyway, yep, got bailed out. Gotta love that. Looking at the packaging one last time, let's get this review started and see what Indiana Jones of the Adventure Series is all about. First thing we'll take a look at are the accessories and, of course, the items needed to build the ark. And what you see here, these are what come with Indy. We've got what appears to be humans with wings, and they're they've got the wings extended forward, and they're gonna go like this when the arc is completed. You see they're molded in a gold color, and it's got some pretty, I'm gonna set one down because they're identical so we can look at just the one. It's got some nice detail right there. And the great thing that I'm seeing is when the light hits it properly, you can actually see the detail, but it still would have served better if there was some paint there on the feathering to separate it, but it almost looks like there is from certain angles, but trust and believe there isn't. So you've got, like I said, it's pretty nice. It's got these large pegs. They're going to fit in some ports when we get the top portion of that arc. So that's how it goes. We get Indiana Jones' iconic whip rolled up. This is molded in a kind of a brick reddish plastic. And this also has detail, but it's really hard to discern unless you're right up on it. And yeah, so this is the whip rolled up. And here's the whip unleashed. This is how it came in packaging like this, but of course you can undo it just by simply, there you go. It's no bendy wire or anything. It's just, thin plastic, and it's semi-malleable, so you can get it into some kind of positions if you'd like. I'm going to put it back the way I got it initially, just to, save on it going all over the place. We also get another iconic piece for Indiana Jones, his revolver, molded in flat black, and you've got the details there, but once again, very hard to discern because it's just all black plastic. Indiana comes with 2 additional sets of hands, these being closed fists. But while I've got them up, let me show you guys something once again, since they're identical or mirrored. I'll put one down, and you could see here in the rear something different. These are on ball pins. They connect up to ball pins, so there are no hinges. So bear that in mind. We also get a set of grasping hands, C grippers if you will. The right hand looks almost like it wants to be a trigger finger hand, but they are connected. They are connected. Sorry, I went out of frame for a second there. But that index finger is connected, but it almost looks like it wants to be a trigger finger. And so you could see right there, they're not mirrored. They are different. And finally, we get this little idol statue, and a nice little cute accessory molded in gold, same gold that the pieces to the arc are molded in. You could see it's the face there. No paint to discern. I don't know if there was any paint. I can't think of with the movie. It may have just been a straight up just gold, but you could see the detail pretty nice. And I guess this is some booty for Indy. Go through all this trouble. He has to come back with some kind of artifact, right? And now for the main event, Harrison Ford, aka Indiana Jones, on our rotating platter, so you can see round and round 360-degree view of the figure. My first thoughts, first glance, as far as the aesthetic is concerned, it looks pretty good with the jacket. The jacket, and we'll see it close up, it's got weathering on it, just like how you would think a used jacket in all of the adventures Indiana Jones has been through would look. So that's pretty good. He's got a holster on his belt, and a satchel, a baggie, a man purse, or whatever you want to call, way before that term came up. And he's got his iconic hat, which is unmovable. You can't take it off. So you have that. And yeah, it looks pretty good. We're going to get it off of the base and take a closer look, especially of the head sculpt. I'm anxious to see how accurate, how good the photoreal technology is with this, especially when you take into consideration that this was well over 25 years ago. So they could only utilize either old photos, or they've taken Harrison Ford's current likeness and retroed it, you know what I'm saying, to make him appear younger. But we'll see momentarily. Okay, so we've got the head sculpt up close and personal, and let me tell you something. Right off the bat, I see issues, and peep the eyes. Is it me, or is he? He's not cockeyed, but the eyes are. He's looking up. He's looking up for sure. So there's something messed up with that right off the bat. As far as the likeness, I can see Harrison Ford in there, but not as well as I would have hoped. So I'm thinking maybe what happened was they did utilize his current features and tried to de-age him. And that means more digital, chicanery there. So, with that CGI, you can get anything. So, trying to find a decent angle where he might look like Harrison. But I could tell you, if he does, what's throwing it off are those eyes. He's definitely looking up. See, when I tilt him, now he looks like he's looking directly at us. So, let me see. Let me move his neck down a little bit to see if that helps. That does help. I can't front. That does look better. Now he's looking straight at me. But that's crazy. If you have his head raised up a little bit, he's looking crazy because he looks like he's trying to look at the top of his hat. Speaking of the hat, like I said, you can't take it off. It's part of the head sculpt. Looks nice, but the hat itself looks good. It's weathered, as you can see. Pretty nice. Very nice looking. And when I have his head kind of, doing the lowbrow thing, then he looks like it looks better. So now, once again, let's go around and see if we see Harrison. If we can spot Harrison. See right there. Check that out. That's Harrison Ford right there on that angle. Definitely. What about total profile? Can't really tell profile. Looks good though. I mean, the sculpt looks good just as a human being. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of looking like Harrison Ford, that leaves a lot to be desired. That kind of looks like him. His left side, right there. See, yeah, that's Harrison Ford right there. That angle right there. And I'm not really getting it. The same thing on that side. Definitely not profile. And almost kind of from that side, but yeah, this is it right there. See, I go right to it. That's Harrison Ford right there. Okay, enough about that. Looking at the rest of them, looking at that jacket, like I said, look at the weathering of the jacket. Looks pretty nice right there on the front. And then turning him to the rear, let me grab him by the top of his head so I can get him spun around. Look up there at the right there at his upper back. You've got weathering there on that jacket and on the back of those sleeves, and then down here near the bottom you see how the color, it looks like it's faded out. I think that's excellent attention to detail for Hasbro. Pretty cool. He's got, let me open the jacket up, he's got that satchel that I was talking about. It believe it or not, it's got additional paint apps. You could see right here there's some paint on it, real spot of paint. So hey, we get something. Speaking of that, look at his belt. His belt is a brownish color there, and the buckle is painted silver, and the edge of the belt has got some paint on it too. So that's pretty cool. He's got his holster that you can unclip and stick his revolver in, which is pretty cool. And that's about it. And then going down, looking at the pants, they're just molded in like a caramel type of brown. And then you've got his boots right there, or his shoes. And his shoes have got it's got laces, but of course they're not painted, so you can't really do much discernment when it comes to that. Turning it around, there's nothing going on in the back. The pants are the same color, and we already saw the nice jacket. And in terms of the articulation, that head is it appears to be, yeah, it's on a dumbbell. The head is on a dumbbell, so he could look down that far. He could look up that far. He can give you Harrison Ford attitude, and of course he can 360 it. His arms, you can get them out. Gotta play with his left side, but you can see on his right side there how far out he can get it. He could do a 90. He does have the rotation there for 360. Here's where we go sideways. He's got the single jointed swiveling elbows, but then again, with this type of jacket, you can't really expect more than that. So it's like that. And then, of course, with the hands, remember I told you they were on ball pins. Take it off so you can see what I'm talking about, just like that. So you stick them on, and if it wasn't for the sleeves, you'd have more range of motion, but you do have all around 360-degree range of motion. It swivels, and you could do what you need to do with it to a point because the sleeves come down so far. As far as his torso/ab articulation, it's all at the waist. He's got nothing there, the upper torso, so he could bend independently only that far forward. I need to zoom out a little bit so you can see. There we go. He can only bend that far forward and bend that far back. And it's on a ball peg as well, so he can lean with it, rock with it, and rotate like that. As far as his hips, he can get them out a fair amount, pretty good. And his thighs, he can do his kick forward more than 90, go back, kind of nice. He's got a thigh cut in there, single jointed knees, that swivel, a la Black Series Star Wars style. And then as far as his feet go and ankles, he can point his toe that far forward, that far up. You're not going to get much because of the bottom of his pant leg is going to impede. He does have an ankle pivot. It's being impeded somewhat, but you can still get range. He was pretty easy to stand up. And of course, this is Hasbro, holes, peg holes at the bottom of his feet. His revolver fits nice and snug in his holster. You see it won't come out. However, you will have a time trying to button down the top of the holster, you know, the flap over. But it can be done, but you'll probably run out of patience before you get it done. But it is what it is. It does work. And here are the hands that he comes out of packaging with. I failed to mention, I brought up about the extra hands, how one of them was almost like a trigger finger hand, but no, it's just a grasping hand because he comes out of packaging with his right hand. He's got a trigger finger on that, and you see on his left he's got a grasping hand, which I'm sure he can use to hold that idol. Here he is with his fists, and now his grasping hands. You need to take note too that with this new wrist peg system, when you change out the hands, you're going to feel like you might break those pegs. They are very small, and I'm quite sure they're very fragile. So be careful when you change out the hands. Remember, pull them straight out, not on any angles or anything, straight out. And you're going to hear the snap or the click, whatever you want to call it, when you do it. So it's kind of scary, but you've been warned. Here's a shot of Indy with his whip, looking pretty nice right there. Can't front. And here's Indy holding the wrapped up whip in his right hand, grasping hand, and in his left hand he's holding the idol. I'm calling it the idol, but this is a review, and especially with a new figure, a new line. So we're going to pick this apart because you guys need to know. As far as the idol is concerned, none of the hands can actually grasp, hold the idol. So that's why I've got him placed that way. Got the idol placed in his hand that way because that's really the only way any of his hands, which would only be two different kinds of hands, /3 if you want to include his right grasping hand that you see on him now, none of them open wide enough to actually hold that idol. So there's a strike right there. And then as far as the whip, the wrapped up whip, something on his belt is supposed to be where you put the whip, and I'm going to show that right now. I'm going to remove the idle and get close up, and you see this strap right here. Now if you look, you see there's a peg on the strap and there's a hole right there. Well, the problem is this strap isn't long enough to wrap around this. So you get that there, and what you're supposed to do is fold that up, and it's supposed to go into, you can see that peg hole right there. Well, the reason you could see that peg hole on mine is because trying to do this with it as is wasn't working. So I used a pin cushion to try to bore the hole out a little bit, and it still didn't work, simply because this strap isn't long enough to fit around the whip. And even when you try to do it without the whip, the hole just, it isn't big enough to get in there. You could probably eventually get the hole wide enough to accommodate. I didn't want to mess around too long, because take it from me, between these two segments, this one and the previous one, about 40 minutes went by, if not longer, of me messing with this. You won't be able to tell because the video will be stitched together. So that tells you that's not good. That wasn't done right. This strap right here should have been longer, and the hole should have been widened more, and I think this peg should have been a little bit bigger too. So that's you can see the peg right there when I go profile style. So therein lies a couple things that just stand up, Indy. A couple things that go against this figure. Our final look here will be of Indy holding his weapon, and I can tell you right now, I don't know if you guys can tell from that angle. You should be able to. I think I can see it myself. The pistol, the revolver, is slightly warped now from being in that holster, so that's another thing. This revolver, the plastic is just way too soft. If you keep it in that holster, it's going to get warped. So you need to take that into consideration too. I mean, it is plastic, so a little bit of heat, it'll snap back to normal. Oh, and there he goes. I'm gonna lift him back up. May as well just keep that in there, because that's how this review has gone for our guy Indiana Jones. But yeah, there you have it. And since I don't have any other adventure series figures to compare Indy with, considering he's the first and only so far, I decided to do the next best thing. And since Raiders of the Lost Ark was taking place in the 40s during World War II, and he was dealing with Nazis, I figured I may as well display him with Marvel Legends' supreme ultimate Nazi. We're talking about Johann Schmidt, aka the Red Skull. And you see they're both holding iconic items there. And so to sum it all up, the Hasbro Adventure Series, Indiana Jones Adventure Series action figure, first in the line, is aesthetically, it's a pretty nice looking figure. But speaking of the aesthetics, we'll start with the head sculpt. The likeness is dubious at best. There's one angle, his left side, you could see Harrison Ford there slash Indiana Jones there, and it's a good head sculpt in terms of the realism of it, but for whatever reason, the likeness isn't spot on. It's definitely decent, close enough, it's serviceable, that's for sure. I can't sit here and say it's horrible by no stretch of the imagination. And once again, who knows what could be the reason, if they were able to try to extrapolate Harrison Ford's likeness from prints from back then in the 80s, or if they took a shot of him as he is now older and then tried to de-age it. But whatever the case, I mean, it still looks good, serviceable. The rest of the figure looks very nice. The jacket, the weathering on the jacket is top notch. and the rest of him. He's very easy to stand. So as you can see, I've got him wide leg posed, and wasn't very difficult to stand him no matter what pose I put him in. So that was a plus also. As far as other minuses, the pistol, very soft. It can warp when it's in that holster. And as far as the wrapped up whip is concerned, the tether on his belt is insufficient. It isn't long enough, and the peg isn't long enough, and the hole isn't wide enough for it to strap on, which is a shame, because it's a good look. If you can get it strapped on, Indy looks good with the whip there on his left hip there. But you'll have to work on that, and probably try to widen the hole. That might help, but still, you don't have enough. The strap just isn't long enough to really get it around. It's problematic trying to push the peg in, even if the hole were large enough. So there is that. So overall, for the figure, if I had to give it a rating, I'd give it a C plus. I'll go with that. Some may think I was being a little harsh, but no, I think that's an appropriate rating for this first outing. Hopefully, the series will get better as it progresses, and we get other figures. We already have in the pipeline another Indiana Jones, Professor Jones. He's in a suit. He's cleaned up and not in his field gear. We'll call his adventure gear. So we'll see. This review is a little long, and definitely a step away from my new format of trying to get in and out with the videos. But since this was a new figure for a new line, a new series, the adventure series, I figured I'd have to be as thorough as I could be. So any of you guys that hung around this long and rocked with me, I appreciate you. So any of you that are left and are listening to me, go down below and like this video and share it, so others can, who are interested in the adventure series, can get an idea of what they'll be in store for. And leave your comments and tell me what you think. Do you think I was being too harsh? Do you find other things wrong that I may have missed, or do you think that the things that I pointed out are they're no biggie? Let me know below, and definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Hope you do that. It definitely would help. And if you want to be notified for the next time I upload a video, there's a bell down there, so hit that as well. So on behalf of Harrison Ford, aka Indiana Jones, of the adventure series Raiders of the Lost Ark, I am the Ruckus, leaving you with this. Remember, the hunt continues. And dealing with Indiana Jones, that is a very appropriate closing line. Take care, guys. Peace.